Let's talk about that little voice in your head. You know the one that quietly whispers, "Is this really the one?" It's a huge question, and today we're going to dive deep into relationship compatibility and see if we can find some real answers for you.
And look, at some point this question pops into pretty much everyone's head, right? It could be after the first date, or it could be after 20 years of marriage. It's this universal and honestly sometimes agonizing moment of, wait a minute, am I with the right person? So, the very first thing you need to hear is this. It is completely normal to ask this. It doesn't mean your relationship is doomed. Actually, it means you care. You care about your own happiness and you care about the health of your partnership. And the best part? There are actual concrete tools that can help you find some clarity.
So when that feeling that something's just off shows up, our first instinct is usually to panic. But don't. It doesn't automatically mean things are over. Let's try to reframe it. Think of it as an opportunity, a chance to learn something about yourself, about your partner, and most importantly, to see if you two can actually grow together.
This quote from Mel Robbins just hits the nail on the head. Compatibility isn't about finding a good person versus a bad person. It's about finding the right fit. It's about finding the person who is great for you.
Okay, so when we do start having these doubts, it's super easy to fall into these really predictable traps. Let's talk about the 3 most common mistakes that keep people feeling stuck in relationships that just aren't working. All right, mistake number 1, chasing potential. This is when you fall in love with who you think they could be instead of who they are right now. Number 2 is misaligned values. This is when you want fundamentally different things out of life. You know, the big stuff like family, career, or where you want to live. And number 3, which we're going to dig into right now, is this thing called the 80-20 trap.
So what is this 80-20 rule? Imagine you have a partner who gives you that solid 80%, all the really important stuff. We're talking kindness, loyalty, respect, the bedrock of a good relationship. But you get obsessed with that missing 20%, the superficial stuff, right? Maybe they're not as tall as you'd like, or you don't love their job. People will literally throw away that amazing 80%, chasing a fantasy 20%, only to realize way too late that the 80% was the only thing that actually mattered. And you see how this ties right back to that first mistake of chasing potential. When you're hung up on what could be, or that missing 20%, you are not in a relationship with the real person standing in front of you. You're in a relationship with a fantasy you've built in your own head. And that, my friends, is a surefire recipe for resentment down the line.
Okay, so let's say you're aware of these mistakes. How do you actually talk about the real issues without it blowing up into a massive fight? Well, there's a really cool science-backed technique for this. It's called the ABC loop, and it's designed to help you have conversations that are actually productive, conversations that get to the truth.
All right, let's break it down. A is for apologize and ask. The goal here is just to take all the pressure out of the situation. You start by owning your role in whatever's going on. Maybe you apologize for being distant or for nagging. This totally disarms them. Then, you ask a simple, open-ended question. Something like, "Hey, I'm just curious. How do you feel about this?" And then, and this is the hardest part, you just have to listen. That's it. No defending yourself, no buts. Your only job is to hear them out.
Okay, next up is B for back off. So you've had the talk, now what? You literally back off. You stop bringing it up, you give them space. You might be thinking, why? Because their behavior is the real answer. Talk is cheap, right? But their actions, what they actually do in the coming days and weeks, that's going to tell you everything you need to know about whether they're truly willing to meet you halfway.
And finally, C stands for compliment and model. So if you see them take even a baby step in the right direction, you praise it. And I mean genuinely praise it, no sarcasm. But here's the kicker. You have to model the change you want to see. You can't ask them to be more active if you're spending every night on the couch. Leading by example is the most powerful thing you can do. Okay, but what happens if you do this? You try the ABC loop for, let's say, 3 months, and nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. Well, this is where you face what's called the Dealbreaker Test, and it is a huge, critical moment of decision. Now, to really understand what to do next, we have to look at some mind-blowing research from John and Julie Gottman. They are basically the top relationship experts on the planet, and they discovered something pretty staggering. 69% of all problems in any relationship are fundamentally unresolvable.
Now, just let that sink in for a second. Nearly 70% of the things you argue about are permanent. They're just part of the fabric of your relationship. If your partner is messy, they're probably always going to be kind of messy. If they talk loudly, they're probably going to stay a loud talker. So the goal isn't to solve these things, it's to figure out if you can live with them.
And that leads us to the biggest, most honest question you have to ask yourself. If this thing that's bothering you is one of those unchangeable 69%ers, can you live with it? Can you truly and genuinely just stop complaining about it and accept this person, flaws and all, exactly as they are? Because here's the bottom line. If you can't stop complaining, it has officially become a deal breaker for you. And that leaves you with two and only two choices. Choice one, end your complaining. Radically accept that this is who they are and find a way to live with it peacefully. Or choice two, end the relationship. Accept that this is not the life you want for yourself. This brings us to what might be the most important takeaway of all. Look, the goal here isn't to save a relationship at all costs. That's not winning. The real goal is to fight for your truth, to fight for your own happiness.
Remember that 80% we talked about earlier? The good stuff? Well, this is it. This is what you're looking for. Someone who actually wants to grow with you. Someone who's kind, who's loyal, someone who can just listen. These are the foundations of a partnership that can handle anything.
You know, we're often so scared to be honest about our needs because we think it's going to destroy everything. But it's not a destructive act. It's a clarifying one. The truth will do one of two things. It will either make a real relationship even stronger, or it will reveal that the relationship wasn't really built to last in the first place.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. What if you stopped fighting for the relationship and started fighting for what's true for you? Just think about that for a second. What would your life look like if that became your number one priority?